Welcome to the OHB podcast. My name's Jav,
Coach Mike.
and today we're going to help you, man. We're going to talk to you about 3 reasons why online coaching isn't working for you. And technically it's going to be 6 because you're going to give 3, I'm going to give 3. Or is it going to be 1, 1, 1?
Do 1, 1, 1.
We'll do 1, 1, 1. Okay, so it's going to be 3. Cool. And I will break it down because online coaching doesn't work for everybody and everyone's problems are a little bit different. So we're going to talk about 3 reasons that, it might not be working for you. So, Michael, what's the first one, in your opinion?
All right, 3. First one for me, why I see online coaching isn't working for a lot of PTs is mindset. It's going to definitely be mindset. I always talk about the PT brain. And for me, I just summarize that as when you're on the gym floor, there's a set of habits, a set of ways of thinking that you pick up that are just not conducive for success out here. Things like things online, like things like thinking that like every PT is your enemy. Do you know what I mean? Like that whole kind of trying to protect the crumbs, not trying to give away too much knowledge. Not trying to give out value. Without getting people to pay, just a lot of things that you pick up on the
When you say not trying to give out too much value, as in like they don't want to teach people online because it's like, why would you buy from me if I give you everything?
Yeah, exactly. I feel a lot of them find it hard to break away from that. Whereas online, it's the opposite. You need to give a lot of value. You need to show people why you're an expert. You know what you're saying. You need to help them and get that. Sort of that goodwill token from them. So the mindset is the number one reason why PTs, and I think the biggest thing, if I'm going to even specify even more, right, it's the money mindset of these PTs, right, coming back from the gym. And the gym floor is very much a race to the bottom. You're all charging either the same or less. You're charging by hour. You're doing block sessions, everything to pull you away from being a proper business. Do you know what I mean? Most proper businesses run on like monthly recurring revenue, subscription models. They charge a premium, and whereas on the gym floor it's very much like a discount thing, cash in hand. So yeah, like not charging what they're meant to because of these money sort of mindset issues. That's what I say.
Yeah, and I think it's a part of the PT kind of culture, especially in commercial gyms as well. Yeah, I think the second mistake that a lot of coaches make is they don't focus on improving their sales skills, or they have a fear around asking for money. Or asking for what they're worth.
Yeah.
So let's think about it. We've actually got someone that we're working with at the moment who we're helping him overcome that, because he's like, I can't understand how I'm charging this for online coaching when people pay this for face-to-face. So I think that one, it's mainly because they're not good at sales, but it's also because they don't know how to articulate the value of an online coaching program.
Yeah.
Therefore, they can't sell it at the right price. So I think the first thing is like, you can't compare PT to online coaching, because PT is PT. PT's, I'm with you for an hour, I coach you, I count your reps, I help you take the weight off the bar, put the weight on the bar. I help you with your technique. Cool.
Yeah.
And then some PTs might already have an online element linked to their face-to-face sessions, so they might give some extra support outside of the 1 hour session, but most PTs don't, right? Like generally most PTs don't.
No.
And then they don't have any nutrition support either, which, as we know, that's 90% of the battle anyway.
Because they're too busy trying to sell more of the session,
right?
Be on the gym floor more, so they don't really have time to build that ecosystem.
Exactly. And the community as well.
Community, yes.
So yeah, I think that if PTs focused more on the sales, the marketing, then they would do a lot better if they had a bit more confidence in what they were selling and they learned the skills of selling. They would make way more money and they would make less mistakes. And they'd be more, I think they'd be more focused as well, because you spoke on the mentality. And I think focus is one thing. Like, there's people that join our program and they just get distracted. They get distracted, bro. Like, they're trying to do all these other things. They're on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, what do you think about this method? No. Just do the method that we showed you, bro. Like, don't worry about that. You're not even ready. Yeah, do it first. Yeah, like,
and come back.
And then come back.
Yeah.
Because there isn't a method that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
Not that I'm like, and it's also there's always new stuff. But like
always reset. We're ahead of you.
Yeah.
I think, but we've
already seen that method.
Yeah.
So don't come to me with this method. Just do what we told you to do and bring the methods after. If it fails, all right, cool, we'll give you another strategy.
Yeah.
So I think the focus thing is like huge. But yeah, that's number 2 for me.
That's number 2. Yeah, we might have to run this up to 6. Number 3 for me is environment. And I think that's key for anyone making anything work, right? If you're around 4 people that are, you know, just stuck on a gym floor, they're not making any money online, they don't even know if it's possible, then you're going to be that 5th person. So you've got to get in environments. We've spent like thousands and thousands of pounds on different mentorships. And some of them, you know, yeah, we might have learned a bit, but then, you know, what we might have taken the most from a lot of them was just being around those environments, you know what I mean? Like the first mentorship that we did, I was in there and it's like, it was all right for me, you know, it was cool. I started making money, but there was always a resistance, you know what I mean? And I think just getting in the room with certain people and seeing people was making like 20K a month, 25, 45K a month, whatever, that just set a light switch in me, do you know what I mean? It ignited a fire. And then, you know, moving forward from that, getting into other mentorships, now I'm sitting next to people that are doing hundreds of thousands a month. That's another fire that can't be put out now. Do you know what I mean? I can't now stop and think, I'm limited to do X, Y, Z, because I know how possible it is to do 100K a month, 200K a month. So being in the right environment is so key. And I think a lot of PTs, you know, you're trying to do it on your own. You are trying to hold back or skimp back on doing a mentorship or some sort of program, but you don't realize that, yeah, you might be able to go hustle your way through YouTube and scramble bits of information together. But just being in an environment with people who are focused and have the same goals as you, mentors, people who've done it, people, you know, if you're in our community, you'll be in a group chat. What are you going to see every other day? Every day, in fact. In wins chat. Oh, I just made a sale, 1,500. Oh, just made 2 sales. You're going to see it all the time. You tell me that's not going to be infectious.
And you got to think about it. If you're a PT, who are you actually surrounded with? Other PTs that are also gym managers. And then if you think about it, what do we know about PTs? They don't share tips and tricks, and they're very gatekeeping. So if your environment is filled with other PTs that are competing with you, realistically, it's competitive, and they're gatekeeping, how are you going to grow if you do not invest in being in a group outside of that? With people that actually, I think you get to the point where you realize everybody can eat.
Everybody can eat.
And I think when you got that mentality that, right, everyone can eat, you don't need to gatekeep. I don't need to gatekeep because I know that I can make 100 grand and you can make 100 grand. So why would I gatekeep? I don't actually have to gatekeep.
And if I help you, you're going to end up helping.
I'm going to help you anyway. Exactly. So like, there's no need to gatekeep. But remember, PTs, they're in the gym. So they kind of have to gatekeep because there's only 1,000 members in this gym. So if I tell you how I'm getting clients, you're going to take my clients, bro.
Because of how the gym has set up.
Right. So you have to actually get yourself in a group outside of that where it's all love. Like,
you have to.
Yeah, it's a must.
Let's hit them up with 3 more, man.
All right, so extending it, cool. 3 more. So I think I said the first one was mindset. I said sales. And then you said environment. So then the 4th, what would be the 4th mistake?
The reason why it's not working for them.
Why it's not working. It would, more on a practical level, it would be based around you don't know your messaging. You don't know your market. You don't know your target audience. So you might be making content and it's not hitting or no one's responding. And it might be because your messaging is not very clear. Who you help, how you help them. So that might look like a coach, who they're posting a lot of like fat loss tips and weight loss tips and weight loss tricks. It's very generic.
Calories.
It's very like, I could have Googled this, you know? And the problem with that is you're not hitting your audience on a deeper level.
No.
So I made a post yesterday or 2 days ago about like, there's a difference between a coach that says, I help people lose weight and perform better versus I help men lose 15 pounds of belly fat and lose that dad bod just before the summer. Like when we say something specific, it really opens up a lot more opportunities. So
100.
I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of coaches are failing is because they might be making content, but it's like,
they just got that fear around talking to someone specifically because they think they're going to miss people. And it's the PT brain because on the gym floor, it's like, you take what you get. So you take whatever you can get. So
so that's the 4th one for me.
All right, cool. Number 5. I'm going to say that this whole like resistance with technology, right? And thinking that you have to do things exactly how somebody else is doing it. With technology, with using your laptop, with design, with whatever, all you got to do is simplify it and do what you can do, but you still have to do it. Do you know what I mean? So like, I don't know if it's fear or it's fear of technology or whatever, but a lot of you have that issue with the tech side of things, right? And you've got to get over that hurdle. You got to get over that hurdle, simplify it. So content, for example, right? I did a video where I showed 2 pieces of content. And one was like a fancy edit. The guy has all these like B-roll added into it, you know, fancy text. And then there was another guy and he was literally talking to the camera and he was giving value. And funny enough, the one just talking to the camera, giving value, a little bit of caption, cap cut, he had more engagement, right? But they were both really successful coaches. It just boiled down to they're both giving value. This guy knows he's more old school. He's in his like 50s or whatever. He's doing well, but he just knows that's more of him. He doesn't want to get caught in all of that edity stuff, whatever, right? This guy is a more young guy. He's a YouTube content creator. That's his thing. So know your strengths, know your weaknesses, but don't be scared of tech. Do you understand? Because I was thinking about it today. A lot of people say they're scared of tech or they're not good with technology. You would have been, that's the reason you wasn't in the race 5 years ago or 3 years ago, 4 years ago, because it's never been easier. Bro, Canva is amazing right now. Do you know what I mean? Canva, you can go click templates and everything is there.
It's there for you.
It's there for, we never had that, bro. We was fiddling around with Canva a little bit, but it was harder. Photoshop, CapCut.
CapCut didn't even exist. When we started, CapCut didn't exist.
CapCut didn't exist. You can't edit like the captions, the whole caption thing. We're having to do that manually in Premiere Pro. So there's never been an easier time. So my thing would be, just like spending time opening your laptop, 30 minutes a day or so, learning things, not being scared. Like, everything is a YouTube video away. And that's number 5 for me.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I think that a lot of people, that this technical thing, man, I think they're just talking themselves into it. Like
it's just a mindset, subconscious. It's fear. It's not even gotten anything to do with technology.
Yeah,
it's just fear.
And I think, yeah. So 6, the last one, I would say, if we touched on a lot already, so this is the last one's probably the hardest one for me to try and think of. But
mindset, what do you say?
Sales,
environment. What was my one again?
I've even forgotten.
Yeah. Okay. Then I just said about technology.
Yeah.
Right. And then,
so the last one, I would say, I don't know if this is a mistake, but it's a mistake because I don't know how to describe it as a mistake, but I guess the last one would be getting started on something that you're not 100% committed to. And it's a mistake because you have to be committed to doing the hard work and the yards. Yeah, I always say it's like doing hard yards. Yeah, hard yards in football, talk about running. Like we're doing the hard yards. We don't want to run, but boy, we got to do it. So a lot of coaches, I hate when people say, I want to build passive income. It's not passive.
Yeah.
Because you still have to do stuff. Like, it's not, and I'm not saying it's the hardest job in the world. It's a lot easier than working in the gym.
Yeah.
But it's not passive. Like, it's not completely passive. You still have to do stuff.
Yeah, of course.
So a big mistake is coaches entering it, not realizing that they do have to put in some effort. Like, it's not just going to fall in their lap. And that means there's going to be times where you got to pull an odd all-nighter. There's going to be times where you got to wake up a little bit earlier to shoot a few more videos or update a few programs. There's going to be times where, you're going to have to maybe quit a few PT sessions to actually focus on this. There's going to be times where, you run an ad campaign and you don't get any leads or you don't make any sales, and you kind of have to be comfortable with taking the L with that kind of stuff. And there's going to be times where you get started and the first 3 months is terrible and you don't make any sales. But the coaches that win, like, they're the ones that are willing to just grind through whatever. Like, by hook or by crook, they're going to make it happen. You got to kind of have that mentality. If you don't have that mentality, like, this ain't for you. Like, the money's not there for you to be successful with this, because you have to, like...
I'm going to piggyback off that, that point there. I'm going to say that what that leads to, and the root of that is, the mistake that you're making, the reason why online coaching isn't working for a lot of you is that you've neglected the self-work. You've neglected the self-work. Because how many people do we get jump onto the coaching program, you know, and say, yeah, no, I can do this. Like I'm a hustler, you know, like I'm about this. Like, yeah, don't worry, I've got this watch. Don't worry. And then they crumble. A lot of people just crumble, and it's nothing. It's not even like the most overwhelming, or it's like we're making them do anything crazy, but they just crumble at whatever they're doing, balancing whatever they're doing with this new thing. And I think it teaches you a lot about yourself, and you've got to be prepared to do that self-work, which is, you know, the big thing about self-work is just isolation. You got to be isolated enough to be able to listen and know who you are and understand where you're going wrong, what your strengths and weaknesses are. A lot of people are, you know, surrounded by people so much that they never ever get a chance to understand what they're good at, what they're not good at, where they're flopping, where they're not flopping. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? So I think that's the big thing. Like, you're going to have to do self-work whilst you're growing your business so you can build that resilient version of you. Do you know what I mean? That can handle, all right, this is happening. You know, I remember I was taking sales calls. I remember when sales calls used to affect me, bro. Like if I got on a bad sales call and the person didn't want to buy or whatever, and, you know, I objected a bit, and, you know, I tried to handle the objection a little bit, and they did end up not buying. That kind of like dampened my spirit a little bit after the call. And I had to build up that resilience and execute that insecurity to know this ain't got nothing to do with me. This is just a person I'm talking to that probably can't afford it, and it is what it is, you know what I mean? So that's what I'd say, just to piggyback off that, man.
Yeah, man. And I think if you're serious about becoming an online coach, like, those mistakes, you have to like iron them out. You might not get them all in one, but you just work on each aspect as much as you can, whether it's insecurities around posting content, your marketing message, you know, sales, your mindset. I think the mindset is the biggest one, because you got to have that ability to focus and just keep driving when things aren't going well, because nothing's perfect, man.
And it makes you a beast once you do learn it, and it's transferable, because every fucking thing is like that. Even your PT sessions. But I remember shitty days of PT. Do you know what I mean? Like back to back to back, you know? So everything is like that.
And you think about, like, I saw the video you sent me of the Joseph, Australian guy or New Zealand guy.
Okay.
And in the video, he spoke about how he built his business to millions of dollars a year or a month or whatever. And one of the things he said, he was just like relentlessly consistent on every platform.
5 years.
He was like, just
was more consistent.
Every platform. And you got to think about it, like, again, it's the competitiveness. We've got to compete against that guy. So that means we got to be ruthlessly consistent too. Because if I don't compete with this guy, how am I going to win? That sets the bar. So it's like, okay, cool. If he set the bar and he's posted on every platform once a day, maybe at the start you can't reach that, but I will start on one platform every day, then I'll get 2, 3, until I can do what he does. That's the reality of it. You got to make more fitness content, more workout content, make your page a utility. Like, you've got to be aggressive, because while you're not doing it, someone else is doing it and they're yamming up your food. That's how I see it. So I can't let no one else eat my food, bro. Like, that's how I see it, bro. So
can't be.
Yeah, man.
Can't be. So yeah, I think we'll wrap it up there then, man.
Yeah.
Quick fire episode. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. The Elite Coaching Community is now live. You get a free trial, 7 or 14 days, whichever one you're fortunate enough to grab. But the link is in the description. You're going to get a lot of value from that.
All right. Like, share, subscribe. Peace.
Boom.